two subjects today. Number one, some wheeling and dealing that you can do at your local Walmart. Jump on these deals before they're gone, guys. I'm going to show you some games that I picked up as part of that deal because I heard from a great source. Shout out to Mr. Rightway for the tip. Thanks, dude. Definitely check out his channel. Give him a follow, some likes on his videos. He's a great content creator, a great person all around, and he does it the right way. And of course, that's going to lead into our second topic for this video, and it's a hot one, so stay tuned. Here's the stack of things that I got at Walmart for really good deals. Now, right now, Walmart is doing sales on different games, whether it be $5, $10, $20, $30. It's just across the board with some titles. It could be for PS4, PS5, Switch, and Xbox. Now, I'm not a big Xbox collector, so of course I didn't really care about the Xbox stuff. They had a lot of Xbox stuff for sale at my local Walmart. So I mainly jumped on the Switch titles, PS4, and PS5. So let's dive into what I got for my collection. Now, some of this is not for me, but like I said, that's going to be in the next part of the video of discussion. So first off, we have Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Now, with the Super Monkey Ball series, I have never played any of these, but this looked cute, and for $5, I picked this up. And then next we have Lego Brawls. Now, some of the Lego games have been really fun in the past, and this looked interesting to me. So again, for $5 for a new sealed title, I'm gonna buy it for my collection. Now, this is gonna add a lot to my backlog, which is huge in itself. So, I mean, why not add more, right? And now, next we have up Strike 10-pin bowling. Now, I was a huge fan of Wii bowling back in the day, so this is right up my alley. I had to throw a pun in there somewhere. And then, of course, Active Life. And this is Outdoor Challenge. This is a big box. Now, I was a big fan of Ring Fit. I love any kind of fitness game for any kind of system. So, for $5, I was picking this up. I actually wanted this whenever I saw it. I think it was going for about $20. I'm like, I'll wait to see if they actually go on sale. And funny enough, it did. So, there's that for the Switch games. All these for $5. Now, the only game that I got myself for PlayStation, yes, I'm a PlayStation girl. Woo, why do you get more? Well, there wasn't a lot to get from PlayStation that I wanted personally for myself. And all of these games were of interest to me for my collection because one, I'm going to play them at some point, and then two, they're normally encompassing stuff that I generally do play. Now, the Mass Effect games are something to be said though. I have never played a Mass Effect game. I do own the trilogy, and I do plan to play them at some point because they're part of that massive backlog that I mentioned. So, I jumped on Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition. I mean, why not? I think I only paid about $5 for this for PS4, but at least I got a PlayStation game. Don't break on me, I just bought you! Anyway, that's what I got for my games. Now, as far as other games go, there were other titles that you can get, you know, whether it be Xbox, like they had the Quarry, which I did want, but I don't have a newer Xbox. I only have a 360, and I don't have any interest in getting any newer Xboxes because I never really was an Xbox girl. I've always been PlayStation, majority of everything that I have, and then of course Nintendo's next. Now, let's talk about these. That's gonna be the next subject of the video, and that's talking about picking up things for other people, whether it be your friends or picking up a mass quantity amount that's not necessary. When it comes to picking up games, I have different things that run through my mind. Number one, is it something that I'm gonna play? And if so, I'm gonna add it to the collection in the notorious big ass backlog that I have. Trust me, my backlog is so damn huge, especially the PlayStation 1 collection over there. There's so many I still have to play. Number two, is it something that I can trade within the community? Is it something that I know that a collector would want or they're collecting for? I'm always on the lookout at GameStop, Walmart, you know, thrifting, anything like that. So I keep my eyes peeled. Now, I will stipulate this, like these, for example. This is Lego 2K Drive, and this is the Marvelous Rise of the Sphinx Ladybug game. These two are for trade. They're going for trade for Diablo 4 for PS5 to the buddy of mine that actually collects for PS5. We've done several trades before for PS5 games because I've always been on the hunt for them, whether it be, you know, GameStop, Walmart, wherever the case, I'm always on the hunt. So we always do fair trades. And of course, trading within the community, normally I have traded, like games, or I've also traded like other things too. It just really depends. If I know you, then of course, the trade's gonna be a little bit more smooth. If it's a first time trade, then of course we're gonna have to sit down and talk about it a little bit thoroughly. Like for example, a trade that I did with my buddy DMC, we traded for Diablo. I had an extra copy. I sent it to him to inspect because he knew what the condition was. He actually had seen the front of it, it had like a little scrape on it. Luckily, it was just the paint, so it wasn't actually through the disc. But I'm like, hey, you inspect this, you tell me, and then, if you're not happy with it, you can send it back to me. And he was happy with it, and we did a trade for games, and the trade was awesome. So I have done that. I have sent the game out to people, or whatever the case, before, let them inspect it, and then they can, be like, okay, yes, or okay, no. But it's always been yes, because, I thoroughly inspect stuff before I do a trade and make sure that they know if there's any flaws within that. But, I only do that in certain circumstances if I've known you for a long time. But like I said, I do love finding stuff for my friends in the community, doing trades. Now, the only time, because I want to stipulate this, I'm not a reseller at all. I don't list stuff on eBay. I don't do anything like that because that's just not my thing. So the only time I do anything as far as like cash equivalent is if the person does not have anything that I want for trade, or two, they just feel more comfortable doing cash, and that would be easier for both of us. That's the only time that comes about. Other than that, it's always trade for trade, and that's the way I would rather go. Because I don't resell. It's never been my thing. Like I said, I have friends that are resellers. I mean, that they do their thing. They either resell to fund their collection, which is fine, or they also, resell as a side hustle, and that's okay too. We'll get into that in just a second though. And of course, the other thing that I think about whenever I go game hunting or whatever the case and find things like this is, can I donate it to a good cause? In the video game club, shout out to Big Bet, my buddy, the one that hosts the video game club that I like to send big boxes to from time to time. Yes, I'm working on another box for you. It's stacking up box. Now he knows. So I like to find stuff for him, so that way, the group can experience like things that I did whenever, I was a kid and he was a kid. It's just fun to see them play, Wii, Xbox 360, and that's mainly what I find, because I want to try to find things that are more for a group versus single player stuff. So I try to keep that in mind when it comes to that. Anyway, and then the last thing is, if I can't find nobody for it to go to, and if I don't want it myself, then it'll sit in here until I can find someone that wants it, or in the rare instance, I will take it whenever I go retro game hunting and use it for trade. Now, that doesn't happen very often because you all know I don't get to go game hunting very often. It's like every 3 to 4 months, and I've only done that like maybe a handful of times whenever it comes to retro game stores, whenever it comes to trade-in stuff. So it's not very common that I do that because most of the time the stuff is already gone, and I found it a good home because, as I said before, every game needs a home. Every game. Now, let me get back into what I wanted to talk about, as far as that goes with my mindset. Whenever I go look at stuff and I see, the shelves being, just like empty like that, and seeing people, literally, I have seen people do this, take like stacks of games, and I'm like, well, there goes my shot. I don't like that, because I know what they're doing. They're reselling it for top dollar. They're going to take a deal from a retailer now, like Walmart, and take everything, and I don't even get a chance to do it. That's not fair, in my opinion. Take 1 or 2, maybe 3, and leave some for other people to buy at that discount, because if you take them all, then that doesn't leave us any kind of chance to get it. I mean, I don't want to pay top dollar for stuff like that, especially if there's a sale going on right now. That's why I'm telling you all this, is because go check your Walmart. Go check it out now. If these games are something that you're interested in collecting, or playing, go out and check them. Maybe they have them, maybe not. I mean, yeah, people might say first come, first serve. That may be the case, but, there's a rule of thumb that I like to, use whenever it comes to that. I'm thinking, I'm going to let somebody else have something. If I'm looking for a friend and there's 2 copies left, then that's different. If I want a copy, they want a copy, sure, I'm getting it for someone else. So technically, I am getting it for someone else just because they can't find it. But if I don't and there's 2 copies, I'm only taking 1. I'm not going to take the other one. Now, if there's only 1 copy and I want it, sure, I'm going to take it because, I want it, that's the last one. So that makes sense. But I'm not going to take 10 copies of the game because what the hell am I going to do with that? So that's just my mentality of stuff like that. It's like, like I said, I have friends that are resellers. But, you know, whenever you take from people like that that can't afford retail for a lot of stuff as it is, you know, take for example me, you know, I can't always drop $500 on a game. I pre-order stuff from GameStop a lot of the time, you know, in advance, so that way I can pay stuff off. I don't pay it off completely. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I pay, like, I'll go in like every payday and I will pay, you know, like some here, some there. It just depends on how many. I normally try to keep 5 pre-orders at a time. That is my max, because it can get expensive. This thing is $70 a game. It's not too expensive, but then again, it is, I guess. It just depends on how you look at it. But take my PS5 for example, that's another thing I wanted to, you know, talk about as well, about saving. You know, I had to save up for that just to buy that. You know, anytime I buy an expensive game for my retro collection, I've saved up for that because, you know, for months, because I know how much it's going to cost me. And I have a allotted amount that I have saved up every month to spend on retro games. People see me buying games all the time, from Lukey Games, from DK Oldies. Yes, I do. I buy from them every month, like I said, but I have an allotted amount that I spend on each one every month. I'm like, and I see what they have, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna spend this here, and then, you know, that's it. Sometimes it can be more, sometimes it's right on budget. It just really depends. But, you know, not everyone, you know, can go out and drop that much money. And whenever they see a deal, I mean, that's great. They're like, hey, I can get a game that I want now because it's not freaking $70, $50. But whenever you take everything, you know, how are they supposed to? I mean, I get that you're reselling, I understand that, but, you know, I just don't think that's right to try to upsell things like that whenever people don't even have a chance. Now, here's the thing when it comes to that. Now, if the game had been sitting there for months and no one's touched it and it's on sale, then that's fine. But if it's literally a sale that's just happening and you just take everything and not even giving anybody a chance to get it, then that's the problem I have. I don't like that. I don't think that that's the right way to go about it, but that's just my opinion on that. Now, same goes with, as far, not just retailers, you know, it's just like, you know, whenever resellers go out and go to like Goodwill and things like that, you know, Goodwill does online. Goodwill also, not mine, not come with, wait, that's not what. Some Goodwills do online, and then of course there's resellers too. Luckily, I've not really been hit with that like some people have, but a lot of people can't even get deals anymore because there's so many resellers going into Goodwill, going into retail stores. If you're going to yard sales, flea markets, if you're going to garage sales, you know, anything like that, you're putting in the footwork, you're doing the recon, you're actually cleaning the stuff, you're listing it. That's a lot of work, and that's fine. I see nothing wrong with that, because you're doing hard ass work whenever you're doing that. You know, you're going on the hunt for stuff, you know, to resell. But if you're walking into a retail store and just seeing what they got and then plop, that's it, come on, man. Come on. No, I just don't agree with that. Like I said, there's a lot more of it that I'm seeing lately. Funny enough, you know, I did say I don't have to normally deal with that, but I have seen recently a reseller in my area at Goodwill, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? No! So, funny story about that. This is off on a tangent, I'm sorry. There was a Guitar Hero guitar, I think it was for 360. I don't know if they used a dongle or not. Dongle or not, I think so, because I know the Wii doesn't. But anyway, I'm not a big 360 girl. You know, I'm more PlayStation, Nintendo. Anyway, I picked it up, looked at it. It was cool, you know, but it was rusted on the whammy bar. Damn, that thing has seen better days. And not 5 minutes later, I saw a person with it in their cart looking. I literally looked over. They were looking on eBay. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, what? But funny enough, that guitar was put back, I guess because, you know, of the deterioration on the whammy bar, because it was pretty rough. And normally try to get rid of, like, I think 360 stuff, from what I've heard, is pretty hard without the dongle. I don't know, I've just heard. Like I said, I don't resell, but I know a lot of people that do. But anyway, you know, as far as that goes, that's my opinion on, you know, trying to, you know, as far as like selling, going out and getting things. I just don't think it's right to take everything, you know, leave something behind for people to get that cannot pay for retail. Don't be that person. Be kind, leave something behind for someone else. that's the thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys today. That's all I have to say on the subject. And let me know your thoughts on it. What do you think about it? What do you think about, you know, thrifting these days? What do you think? How do you think game hunting has changed, you know, in the last 10 years? Because I damn well know it's been a lot harder since, you know, people have been, you know, going to thrift stores and stuff, you know, getting all the scores. Because like I said, I get a score every now and then, but it's not like it used to be. But definitely let me know. But until next time, this is the PlayStation Girl signing out. Game on!